Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today our topic is Peterson solution. This Peterson solution is a software based solution for critical section problem. So what is meant by critical section? Critical section nothing but the common section of code between two programs. Common section of code means both the programs may share common data like common variables, right? So when both the programs using the common data, shared data, that the problem will be raised. The problem may rise with the inconsistent results. So the results what we are going to observe at the end, that may be inconsistent. So that is the critical section problem. That critical section problem will rise based on the race condition. Race condition nothing but the order of execution of instructions. In which order we are going to execute any set of instructions, based on that order the result will come at the end. So in this critical section problem we will have a solution. This is called a software based solution called a Peterson solution. In this Peterson solution we are going to use two variables here, two common shared variables here. One is turn is a variable and second one is a flag is a array variable. So turn variable is of integer data type. So why I am going to use this turn variable means turn is used to hold the process number. Similarly, flag is going to used in our Peterson solution here. Flag is of Boolean data type, and here the flag is an array variable which contains only two values. Okay, either 0 or 1. Okay, when it will be when the flag bit is 0, what will happen? When the flag bit is 1, what will happen? Let us see. So first, turn variable indicates which process is going to enter into the critical section, and the flag array is going to use it with either true or false. So whether we can use either 0 or 1 or true or false, right? So let us go with our Peterson solution here, right? In this Peterson solution, we will have a code like this. This is an algorithm here. In this algorithm, our critical section is there here, and before this critical section, some set of code is there, and after critical section, some other set of code is there, and after that code remainder section will be there. So you already know what is the critical section. Critical section nothing but the common section of code in both the programs. So before critical section we should have an entry section. After that we should have an exit section. So what is the use of entry section, right? So what is the use of entry section? This rectangular box indicates that this is this entire code belongs to entry section only. In this entry section, what is the use of entry section means? The critical section will be protected by using this entry section. In this entry section, the process or program will be restricted to enter into the critical section before going to check with some default values. Okay. So first we will check some programming statements with the conditions. So if the conditions allow us to enter into the critical section, then entry section will the process will left entry section, then come into the critical section. Then after executing critical section, it will exit from the exit section. In this exit section, the program, whatever the program is exiting from the critical section, will allow the other program to enter into the critical section. So that is the main motive of this software based solution. And what about the remainder section means? You already know. Remainder section nothing but the statements which are not in common with the second program or any other program. Okay, remainder section statements are not in common with any other program in the execution. Okay, first of all let us see. Let us take two programs here. This is program 1 and this is program 2. Here the critical section indicated in both the programs along with the entry sections and the exit section. See that this is entry section and this is exit section. These are all two sections included before and after the critical section. Okay, so why I'm going to take two programs with the same code? Because in these two programs, critical section is same. That means whatever the number of statements are there in critical section are same as the number of statements in the program 2 also. So we are going to restrict that critical section. So how should we restrict? By entering entry section before and exit section after the critical section. So that is why I'm going to consider two programs here, P1 and P2. So let us denote the variable for the default variable for program 1 as I and for program 2 as J. So let us go with our solution now. So in this solution, let us have a look on this each and every statement. So first, the statement 1 is there. In the statement 1, let us see. Here flag of I is equals to 2. That means whatever the program is interested in executing the critical section, that program should be set as a true. The interested status should be set as a true. So before going to enter into the critical section, we should set it as a true. Then we should initialize the variable called turn to J. J means here the second program. So we should initialize the turn variable with the second program value. Okay, and then we will check about some condition in the while loop. Here two conditions are there using AND operator. Here whenever there is an AND operator, we should follow the truth table here. In this truth table, when the two conditions get satisfied, then only the condition is totally true. Then it will enter into the while loop. But here the while loop doesn't contain any body, and actually it ended with a semicolon here. That means there is no body. That means at the situation, the program will run at the same statement again and again. If it doesn't satisfy, it will enter into the critical section. That means if the condition is false, then only it will exit from while, will enter into the critical section. So whenever after completing the critical section execution for any program, it will exit from the critical section and enter into the exit section. Here in this exit section, what I have previously set as true, that means the interested status of that particular process as true, we need to set it as false. Why? Because we should give a chance to other program to enter into the critical section. Maybe some other programs are waiting outside for the critical section. That is why we need to set it as false. So in the both the cases, in the entry and the exit section, we have used the program like I here. I means our first program. So first initially we have set it as true for I, and later we have set it as false for I. So previously it was interested, after completing it doesn't have any interest about critical section. So that we need to remember all these things first. So before going to execute our critical section one after the other. Okay, so similar thing happened here, but in this case, in the place of flag of I, I replace it with the flag of J. That means this is a program 2, right? So here flag of J means the program 2. So program 2 is interested, that is why I set it as true. So later after completing of critical section execution, we need to set it as false. So let us see what will happen when some of the cases we will observe here. While you observing some of the cases, what will happen? Let us see here. So first of all, we need to maintain the variables called flag and turn here. So here also flag and turn here. So what is the first case? Let us see. The first case is when P1 only want to execute in critical section. Then P1 only want to execute. That means here both the programs are there, but out of these two programs, only program 1 is going to execute in critical section. Before going to execute in critical section, it should have some interest to enter into the critical section. Then only I will follow the procedure. Okay. Suppose only P1 want to execute, but P2 doesn't want to execute in its critical section. So Here the default values for their interest. For both program 1 and program 2, the default value for their interest is false only. So let me write here. Let me simply denote like this. F means false, T means true. Okay. Here for both the programs, initially the flag bit will be false only. Okay. Now from the case 1, program 1 only want to execute in critical section. So what will happen? Let us go for execution of all the statements in this center. Okay. Now what is that? Flag of I is equals to true. So I means the first program, right? So flag of first program is setting as true. So initially it was false, and now I'm setting it as true. So let me set it as true here. That is T, right? So it has set to true. That means the program 1 is interested to enter into the critical section. Okay. Then turn is equals to J. So let make turn value, initialize the turn value as J. J means 2, the second program. So I am simply giving like this, turn value as 2, because 2 means second program, 1 means first program. Okay. Next, while flag of J and turn is equals to J. Flag of J, what is the value of flag of J? Flag of J means, what is the flag bit of J here? False. So here the condition is false here. The first condition is false. And what about the second condition? Turn is equals to J. Whether turn is having the value as 2? Yes, turn is having the value as 2. So the second condition is true. The first condition is false, second condition is true. And the operator is AND operator here. Here, when a condition statement which is having AND here in between the two conditions, we should follow the truth table of AND here. And whenever first one is false, second one is true, the final result will be false only. So that means the condition gets failed now. Whenever the condition gets failed, while loop doesn't execute with its body. Okay, that means the condition is false here. It should not enter into the while loop. But here while loop doesn't contain any body here, because it is ended with a semicolon. That means there is no while loop body, and we can skip this while loop and we can enter into the critical section. That means now program 1 is directly allowed into the critical section to execute with its statements. Right? Now after critical section has executed successfully for the first program, it will exit from the exit section. Here what is the statement in exit section? Flag of I is equals to false. So up to now, what is the updated value? True. Now I am setting as false. Simply we can erase this and we can write the flag bit of first program as false, because now it is not interested to enter into the critical section again. Okay, so this is the first case. So successfully executed our first program. So let us go for P2. Right? In case 2, when P2 only want to execute in critical section, what will happen? So let us try. Let us see. Here for P2, flag of J means the second program, right? So flag of J is equal to true. So initially it was false. I am setting it as true. So let me write here. True means T, right? So the flag bit of J is true, and the turn value is equals to I. I means the first value. So let me initialize the turn value as 1. 1 means the first program, right? Then while flag of J and turn is equals to I. Flag of I, turn is equals to I. Flag of I. What is the value of flag bit here? That is false. So the first condition is failed, and turn is equals to I. So turn is equals to 1 or not? Yes. The second condition is true and first condition is false. So when there is an AND operator between those two conditions, let us check for the truth table. So when any one of the two conditions get failed, the final result will be failed only. So the condition get failed. So whenever it is failed, it will not enter into the while loop. But here while loop doesn't have any body, means it will ignore this while loop to will enter into the critical section then. So P2 has entered into the critical section and it will execute whatever the statements in there in a critical section successfully. Then after successful execution of critical section, it will enter into the exit section here. In this, flag of J bit will be set to false. So initially it was previously it was true. Now I am setting it as false. So whenever any program has exited from the critical section, it should set the flag bit as false. Why? Because the other program should get a chance. So that is the problem here. That is the problem. That is why I am simply setting it as false. Okay. And second case is over. In this second case, program 2 successfully executed. What is the third case? When program 1 is in critical section, then P2 wants to execute in critical section. Okay. When program 1 is there in critical section, so what will happen? So initially the flag bits of both the programs are false. Then if program 1 trying to enter into the critical section, so first program 1 is there in critical section, right? So before going to enter, what will happen here? Let us see. So flag of I bit will be set as true. So let me set it as true first. Okay. Okay, then ton is equals to J, ton is equals to 2. Okay, flag of J is and flag ton is equals to J. So flag of J is false. The first condition is failed. Second condition is true. False true, which is false only. So whenever the condition is false, it will skip the while loop and it will enter into the critical section. Now, where the first program is, the first program is there in a critical section. Let me write like this. P1 is there in a critical section. Now, when P1 is there in critical section, what is our case 3? P1 is there in critical section. P2 wants to execute in critical section. What will happen? Let us see. So now, P2 is trying to enter into the critical section. Here, flag of J is setting as true. So previously it was false. Now, let me change the false status to true. Why? Because it is interested to enter into the critical section. Right? The flag bit of J is true now. And ton is equals to 1. Ton value is equals to 1. Yes, right. So just we set it as 2. Ton value as 1. Then while of flag of I and ton is equals to I. Flag of I. What is the flag of I value here? True. So the first condition is true and ton is equals to I. Ton is equals to I value, that is 1. Yes. So here both the conditions are satisfied. That means the first condition is true, second condition is also true. When both are true, the final result is also true. Then here whenever the condition get true, we should enter into the while loop. While loop, we should execute the while loop body. But there is no body here because it is ended with a semicolon, means there is no body for this while loop. That means this program 2 is continuously repeating the same statement again and again. That means it is continuously trying to execute the same statements because always it is getting true as the final result. So whenever it is true, it should it will recheck the same condition and again and again. Right? So here there will be no exit at all. Why? Because the second program is already there in critical section, means this code is restricting the second program to not to enter into the critical section. Why? Because the first program is there in critical section, means second program should not enter into the critical section, and this program is not at all allowing the second program to critical section. Okay, so what will happen when the first program getting exited from the critical section? That means suppose it has completed its execution, then P1 will enter into the exit section. So let me erase this. Right? So P1 is there in a exit section. See, in exit section, what is there? Flag of I is setting as false. So up to now it is true. Now I am set the flag bit of first program as false. Now what will happen when the flag bit of the first program as false? Then check about this condition. Actually P2 is there in this while loop now. So flag of I and ton is equals to I. Ton is equals to I means ton is equals to the first program. I means the first program. Turn is equals to 1. Yes, condition satisfied. The second condition is satisfied. Flag of I is true or false? False. So now the first condition is getting failed and the second condition is true. So when any of these two are failed, then the final result is also failed. False only. So here now it is getting failed. The condition is getting failed. Then what will happen? Whenever the condition is false, it will exit from the while loop to will enter into the critical section. Then now P2 is there inside the critical section. Right? Now suppose if P1 wants to execute in the critical section, so P1 will try to enter into the critical section, but P1 will be restricted in the entry section in this statement only. P1 will be restricted by P2. Why? Because P2 already there in critical section means no other program should enter into the critical section when some program is there in critical section. So already P2 is there inside. So P1 cannot enter into the critical section and it will continuously trying to execute the same while loop because it is continuously getting true in these two conditions. Okay. So here when P1 is there inside, P2 has restricted in the entry section. When P2 is there inside, P1 has restricted in the entry section. So that is the beautiful nature of this code. So the nature of this code is that definitely restricts the second program to enter into the critical section. Okay. Similarly, suppose case 4 is there. For case 4, suppose P2 is there inside. Already I told you, P2 is there inside. When P2 is there inside, when P1 wants to execute, so first flag bit of P1 will set it as true. So initially it was false. Now I am setting it as true. Right? Turn is equals to j. So turn is equal to true. Then check the condition. While flag of j and turn is equals to j. Flag of j is true. First condition is true. Turn is equals to 2. Second condition is also true. That means the total condition is true. So when total condition is true, while loop will be executed. That means here the first program is continuously trying to execute the same statement. There is no provision to exit from that while loop. Why? Because P2 is already there. As the case 4 says, when P2 is there in critical section, P1 cannot enter into the critical section. That is a problem here. Not a problem. So we are simply restricting the first program to not to enter into the critical section. So that is the beautification of this code. So this is about Peterson solution. So this Peterson solution will satisfy all the three requirements of critical section. So understood all this? Then we should discuss about the requirements of critical section. What are the requirements of critical section? Mutual exclusion, progress and bounded wait. So whenever a solution is made, like a Peterson solution, whenever a solution is made, that solution should satisfy all the three requirements of critical section. Then only that will be the better solution for critical section problem. So in this critical section problem, we successfully restricted both the programs from one another. When P1 is there inside, P2 has restricted. P2 is there inside, P1 has restricted. Let us check all these three requirements also. So here, what are the three requirements? Mutual exclusion, progress and bounded waiting are the three requirements actually for a critical section problem. Now, what is a mutual exclusion? When one program is there inside, the second program should not enter into the critical section. See there, PI means I value means either programmer or programmer. Suppose P1 is there in critical section. P1 enters the critical section only when the flag bit of j, that means the flag bit of the second program should be false or turn is equals to I. So when both the conditions, when any of the condition is true, then only the first program will enter into the critical section. Flag of j, that means the second program enter status should be false, then only first program will be entered. Okay, so mutual exclusion is preserved in this Peterson solution. Next, progress. Progress requirement is satisfied. What is meant by progress? When one program exited from the critical section, it should allow the second program to enter into the critical section. It should not restrict the second program to enter the critical section. So here, when program 1 is exiting from the critical section, it is allowing the second program to enter into critical section. So it is not at all restricting the second program. Similarly, when the second program is exiting from the critical section, it is not at all restricting the first program to enter into the critical section. It just waking up the first program to enter into the critical section. Okay, that is progress. And third one is bounded waiting. So progress requirement is satisfied. Bounded waiting. So bounded waiting means after some when two programs are there. When two programs are there in trying to enter into the critical section, when one program is continuously executing the critical section, the second program should get a chance after some bound value. Here you can see that suppose the program 1 is continuously executing the critical section. At what time the second program get a chance? So definitely the second program will get a chance. Why? Because when the first program is getting out of the critical section, the second program immediately getting the chance to enter into the critical section. That means there is a bound. That means after the first program, second program is definitely entering into the critical section. So bound should be there. At least some few attempts, after some few attempts of the first program, second program should get a chance. Otherwise, after few attempts from the second program, first program should get a chance. So that is bounded waiting. So here all these three requirements of critical section are completely satisfied by this Peterson solution. So that the Peterson solution is one of the better solution for the critical section problem. So that is about the critical section problem. Thank you.